Well, launching a bank in the teeth of South Florida's worst recession in years takes a lot of guts. So coming up next, I talk with banker Keith Costello, who started Broward Bank of Commerce several years ago in an economic wasteland. And in an interview taped earlier, I asked Keith, why such a launch against all conventional wisdom?
Well, I think, Dave, that a few of us got drunk at the Lauderdale Yacht Club, and you know, next thing we knew, we were starting a bank. But I joke, but there's a little truth to that, actually. It was 2007 when I first got involved, and I felt like at that time that you could tell that the boom was starting to slow down. And so I did have the idea that, along with the other organizers of the bank, that it would be a good time to start a bank. I had no idea that we were about to see the financial crisis.
A collapse, right? Almost. Yeah.
So, so we got out there in 2008, talking with people about how it was a great time to start a bank. And a lot of people were looking at us like we were crazy, especially as events unfolded, and you had, you know, the biggest banks in the country failing.
Wall Street going down
all the Wall Street banks. You know, so as that crisis unfolded, we were literally out there trying to raise money, and we had to raise $12.5 million to start the bank.
Right.
The board put up a chunk of that, but we still needed to go out to friends and family and a lot of the people in Fort Lauderdale, and you know, I did more lunches, dinners, and cocktail hours, and I felt like I was running for governor or something.
And these guys are holding their nose and just writing a check, right?
Well, we've just barely, I'll tell you a funny story. I mean, the day that we opened our bank, the regulators come, and they said, well, there was a restriction on how much one person could invest, and so we had one investor that was over the 10%.
Right.
So I had to give him that additional money back. So we were $250,000 short. And they said, if you don't have the rest of the money in by 1 o'clock today, we're leaving. And so I had to literally run around and get another $250,000 that one day to start. So.
Well, God bless you, Keith. That's true. Well, listen. Okay, so this all started. A great success story from this. You know, this is odds on that this would never happen, and you did it. You pulled it off, and you're profitable. And what is really interesting is the Bauer Financial Group, which rates all the banks in the country and in South Florida, gives you a 5-star rating. You know, how did you pull that off?
Well, I'm a genius. and you know I'm joking, Dave. I mean, we have, you know, one of the other fortunate things about starting a bank at this time was it was very difficult to open, but it has proved to be a great operating environment for a couple of reasons. One is that a lot of banks were not lending. The other was that it was a very good time to go out and get some very, very good employees. We found that the idea of starting at a clean bank, working in a bank that doesn't have problems, where you can really help people and focus on what you want to do, the banking business, instead of going out and trying to collect bad loans and harassing people to pay you. So we were able to attract just a phenomenal staff.
How many employees you got?
We have right now 21. We've just hired you know, 3 more. We were at 18, and so we're hiring people. We're growing our bank.
What's your asset base?
We're right about just a little close to 130 million, a little under 130.
And here's the kicker question, boy. Are we going to make any money?
We're making a very good profit this year. Last year we lost about $500,000. This year we should make over $1 million.
Wow.
You know, so we're demonstrating that it is a good time to be a bank right now. With a clean balance sheet.
Well, another kicker question here is in South Florida, are you making any loans?
We absolutely are. I mean, that's the only way that we're able to make money is to lend money. And we're making the kind of loans, we're really focused on the needs of small to medium-sized business owners. That's our target customer base, and we're here to provide loans to that clientele.
You know, you're a pro, been in the banking business, of course, and also a U.S. Army veteran. I want to thank you for your service.
And you as well.
But now, you know, when a guy comes in as a banker and a lender, you know, a lot of the major banks, it's a numbers game. But do you look at character? Does that count a lot when you're making a loan?
I will tell you that is the first thing we look at, because I'll tell you that I worked for a gentleman, Leonard Abbas, at City National Bank for a few years. where I really learned a lot about community banking. And one of the things that his father, who's Leonard Abbott Sr., always told him was that you can't do good business with bad people, and you can't do bad business with good people. So it really starts with character, particularly with community banking.
I got you. Well, it seems to have paid off. You know, in 3 years, you're going to rack up $1 million in profit this year, and that certainly is accolades to you guys and your team. You know, that helped. You didn't do it alone. We know that.
Absolutely not. No, we have put together a great team, and we have a great group of investors, board members.
What, Keith, what do you think is on tap now for South Florida's economy? How do you think it's going to transpire?
I wish I could be as positive about the economy in general as I am about our business. I think it's going to be very difficult for the next few years, foreseeable future. Most of the business that we're doing right now revolves around distressed, or a lot of it is distressed sales of properties. It is people recapitalizing businesses. Right. But I am starting to see with some of the businesses down here that have made it through the last 2 years of really hard times, it's almost like the ones that have made it now have cut their costs. They're starting to become profitable again, so that's a hopeful sign. They're starting to see some turnaround. The others, unfortunately, haven't made it. Yeah, well, you know, our real estate and housing market is a disaster, and that seems to be the stepping stone for a major recovery, I think. Yeah. But anyway, that's the way we're looking at it anyway. Yeah. Well, listen, Keith Costello, the magician who took a bank in the recession, and a couple of years later you're making $1 million profit. That is fantastic. And that's one of the great stories we would love to report. And on behalf of South Florida's business community, I want to say congratulations and thank you for being part of our community. Thank you, Dave. All righty.